Welcome back to again the sampling class. Okay, in the first part we have seen regarding the sampling, definition of sampling, and what are the design, what is the steps used in the sampling design. Okay, in this class we will see regarding the characteristics and the types of sampling technique, and the explanation regarding the types of sampling technique, how we are going to select the samples by using this sampling technique. Okay, first we will move on with the characteristics of good sample design. So sample design must result in a truly representative sample. Okay, when we are using the sampling design, it should draw a representative sample from the population. When we are selecting a sample, it should be a representative person from the population. Okay, and the sampling design should have a minimum sampling error. Okay, sampling error, we have a marginal error, that is 3% to 5%. It is the allowable error. We can make some relaxation in the sampling technique, that is the 3% to 5% of sampling error. Okay, and the sampling design must be viable in the context of funds available for the research study. According to the researchers capability and the purpose of study, the sampling design must be followed. Okay, and it should be a controlled way of systematic bias can be applied. Okay, and the sample should be such that results in the, it should be applicable for the general population. When we are drawing the samples, it should be applicable for the general population. These are the characteristics of good sample design. So the sample design must select a representative sample from the population, and it should follow a minimum sampling error, and systematic bias has to be controlled way, and it should be followed according to the research fund availability, and it should be applicable for the general population. Okay, next it is the types of sampling design. Okay, we have there are different types, and based on two factors the sampling design it is planned, that is the it is according to the element representation basis and the element. Okay, here but in the currently we are using the two techniques, that is the non-probability sampling and then probability sampling. Non-probability sampling in the sense, according to the researcher's view, will be according to the researcher's interest, the sample will be selected. Probability sampling in the sense, we are giving the chance for whole population, we are giving a equal chance for whole population, that is called that probability sampling. And the non-probability sampling, it is according to the researcher's interest or according to the researcher's convenience, the samples are selected. Okay, so before moving on with the explanation of the techniques, we should know how the sample size is determined. Okay, so sample size according to the Umashegaran research method for business in 4th edition, it is given the sample size should be larger than 30, less than 500. It's the sample size should be, if when we are carrying out the UG projects and all, the minimum sample 50 or from 30 to 50 we can take, and we can see the effectiveness. Okay, so according to that Umashegaran, it is given that the size of the sample should be 30 to 500. So minimum size, it should be 30% of the total population. When we are conducting a study, it should be 30% of the size of the total population. We have to select the samples from the population. Minimum 30% we have to take for the sample as a samples. Okay, so here there is a one formula to determine the sample size. It is a sample size n equal to capital N divided by 1 plus capital N E square. Okay, Picasso et al. It is the formula, it is given in Picasso et al. Okay, given by Picasso et al. Then we'll see what are this indicates. Okay, small n determines the sample size, and n, it is the capital N, it is the target population. E, it is the margin of error. Margin of error we can give, that is the minimum margin of error, sampling error. It should be ranging from 3% to 5%. Okay, we'll see one calculation how to determine the sample size from the target population. Okay, here the target population, it is 5346. Here how we are determining the sample size, we have to apply in the formula. Okay, so the total target population, it is the n, capital N. Okay, 5346 and 1 plus capital N 5346, and the allowable error, we can take the minimum error 3%. Okay, 3% when we are converting into the numerals, it is the 0.03 square. Okay, so when we are converting the sample size, it will be 920. Okay, then there is a sample proportion. Sample proportion in the sense the size, the sample size divided by total population, target population. So 920 divided by 5346, we will be getting a 17% of sample proportion. Okay, so you need this, how we are determining the sample size. Okay, so from the target population, the total population is considered as a target population. Here target population is capital N, 5346, and divided by 1 plus 5346 into 0.3, that is the marginal error, minimum sampling error 0.03 square. So when we are calculating the sample size, it is n equal to 920. Okay, so from the total population, we have to take a sample of 920 people for the study. Okay, now we will see the classification. Mainly we have seen the types of sampling technique in the non-probability sampling and the probability sampling. Under this non-probability and probability sampling, there are different classification it is present. So in the non-probability sampling technique, we have, I told the non-probability sampling is, it is according to the researcher's interest or convenient or the need. According to the researcher's need, the samples are selected. Okay, so it is classified as convenient sampling, judgmental sampling, quota sampling, and snowball sampling. Okay, convenient sampling. So from the word itself we can understand that according to the researcher's convenience. And the judgmental sampling, quota sampling, and no snowball sampling. And the next technique, it is the probability sampling. It is a main one. So here the we have studied in the research design, there is a randomization only indicates the true experimental design, So the randomization is present in the probability sampling. We are giving the equal chance for all the population, and we are withdrawing the sample from the target population, that is the probability sampling. In the probability sampling, there are different, it is also classified as simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling, and other sampling techniques. Okay, So in the probability sampling, there is simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and the cluster sampling. We will see one by one what is that probability sampling. Okay, so probability sampling, it is the sampling method that selects the random members of population by setting a few selection criteria. We will set a selection criteria according to the parameters, and we are giving the equal opportunities for all the members present in the population. That is, equal chances given for all population, all the persons, the equal chances are given. That is called that probability sampling. Okay, in this probability sampling, first one, it is the simple random sampling. Simple random sampling, from the word itself we can understand that we are collecting, that is the simple random sampling. We are selecting, we are getting the list, from that we are getting the samples. Okay, the advantage of this simple random sampling, it is easy to conduct and high probability of achieving the representative sample, and it meets the assumption of many statistical procedure. Disadvantage, identification of all member is impossible. Okay, we may be missing some of the populations, and contacting all the members are very difficult. Okay, here how the selection process will be carried out in the simple random sampling. See, for example, in the school, okay, or in the classroom, 50 students are present. In that, we have to select 20 samples. Here, what in the simple random sampling, what we will be doing, first we will be making out a sampling frame, that is the list of element we will be taking out, that is all the 50 members, 50 students name it is written, and we will be selecting a random numbers. We will be picking up by the lottery method, or the computer table numbers, or the blind man approach. Like that we will be selecting the samples. Here the list of all the members are present. We may not be knowing or who are all the person will be coming for the study. Okay, so here we will be, all the names will be put it on the ball, and we will be taking one by one, we will be taking up to 20. We need only the 20 samples. So up to that we will be taking the lot. Okay, so the 20 samples we will be giving. So the researcher may not be knowing who are all the persons will be coming for the study. So it is the simple random sampling. We are giving equal chance for all the persons. Okay, so next one, it is the stratified random sampling. Here the groups, the population is divided into 2 or more groups called strata. We are dividing the subgroups, that is called that strata. We are dividing group of people. So it may be according to the geographic location, the group will be divided, or grade, or the age, or the income, or the socio-economic status. According to that, the group of people is divided into strata. Okay, strata means subgroups. We are dividing the population as a group. Small groups we will be making. After that, we will be making a simple or the systematic sampling. We will be taking a by the help of this simple random technique, we will be selecting the group of people. Okay, in this the elements within this each strata are homogeneous. The heterogeneous groups, it is divided as a homogeneous. Homogeneous in the sense same characteristics of people. That means the males will be grouped as one strata, or the females, or the certain age group of people 30 to 35, it is one strata, or the people is coming under the rupees of the monthly income group of below 5,000, it is one group. So the groups, it is considered as a strata, small group, subgroups. From that, so that means it is the homogeneous group. We are making the homogeneous group. From that we will be taking a samples. Okay, that is the stratified sampling. Okay, and the So I will give you one example for the stratify sampling, how we have to make a strata. Okay. See, for example, the total population 12,000. Okay, target population it is 12,000. It is classified as 4 homogeneous socioeconomic status group. Okay, 4 strata. 4 strata. In first strata, it is the class 1. Class 1 group, it is 2,000 population. Okay, and the second strata, it is 4,000 population, and the third strata, it is the 5,000 population, and the fourth strata, it is 1,000. See, 6, totally 12,000. Okay, in this 12,000 we have to take a 600 sample size. Okay, here first we have to so in each strata we have to give a chance for all the group of members. All the strata should be given a equal chance. Okay, so for that first we have to identify the sampling fraction. Sampling fraction in the sense, first we have to identify the sampling fraction, that is the 600, what the sample size we need divided by total population or the target population. The sampling fraction, it is 1/20. Okay, sampling fraction is 1/20. Here the stratum 1, how many population, how many members we have to select. Okay, in this first 2,000 into sampling fraction 1/20. So what is that? Here, so 100. So 100 people we have to select. Here also 1/20. So how much? 200. Okay, 200. In this also 1/20. So how much? 250. Here 1/20. So here 50. So how much? 300 plus 300, 600 total population. So here we are giving the equal chance for everyone. Okay. So this is the, in each strata how many members we have to select. This is the formula we will be using. That is the sample size divided by target population. So we will be getting a sampling fraction. So here the class 1 strata we have a total population of 2,000 into sampling fraction. So we will be achieving the sampling size. From the 2,000 people we have to select a 100 members. Okay, so so each strata will be given a equal chance, that is called the probability sampling. Okay, so next one, it is the systematic sampling. Next sampling, it is the, this is the next one, it is the systematic sampling. Systematic means, we know systematic means in an organized way we will be selecting the samples. Okay, here it is a old method. Every kth item is selected as a sample, kth item. Okay, so to determine the interval, for example, if we want to select the samples from the 100 people, if we want to select 20 samples. Okay, we are using the systematic sampling. Systematic sampling 1 to 100 will be listing down the numbers 1 to 100. Okay, here the item, kth item. Okay, we have to determine the interval. Here the size of population divided by the sample size. Okay, here the 100 is the population, and sample size we require the we require the 50. I am giving the examples. Okay. Oh, so second item is selected as a member. So okay, see for example, so first sample we have to determine by the lottery method. Okay, by the lottery method. First one we will be picking up with the lottery number, and we will be and we will be selecting the kth person. If so, first number, if you are selecting the third one, means third number if you are selecting. Okay, and the fifth and the seventh, like that we will be selecting the members. Okay, so that is the systematic sampling. Okay, every kth item. And the next one, it is the cluster sampling. Cluster sampling, how we have seen the strata sampling, same way here the cluster sampling means it is the two stage sampling. It is the two stage sampling. It is the two stage sampling cluster. Clusters means it is also subgroup. Clusters. Okay, one group, one area, one clusters. Okay, we will be making one cluster 1, cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. See, for example, if the researcher want to do a research on educational technologies adopted by various schools in the India, various schools of India. So in India there are many districts, many states we have. Okay, so first we have to determine in what are the states we are going to select. Okay, in the state Tamil Nadu or the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, or Kerala, like that one state. In this state we will be selecting a district, which district we are going to take. Okay, it is a two-stage sampling. Okay, after that we will be selecting the district. In that districts we will be selecting the schools. Okay, so from this after that we will be following the systematic sampling or the simple random sampling. Okay, are you understanding? That is the cluster sampling. We are making a clusters. We are dividing as a subgroups, because as a whole we can't able to go to all the places, and we can't able to carry out the studies. It is the time consuming, moreover the financially we can't able to afford. So the area is divided as a clusters. From that we will be selecting a samples. Okay, that is called that cluster sampling. Okay. Okay, so this is the cluster sampling. You understood? So in the probability sampling we have seen the simple random sampling, stratified sampling, and systematic sampling, and the cluster sampling. Okay, so these are the 4 methods we will be using for the probability sampling. That means equal chance it is given for all the people. When we are using the randomization, then the study will be considered as a true experimental design. Okay. Then we will move on to the non-probability sampling. In this non-probability sampling, we already I told it is according to the researcher's convenience or the researcher's need. We will be using the technique called that non-probability sampling. Here the the sampling bias will be higher, because the whomever the researcher's convenient only researcher will be selecting the samples. Okay, maybe if he likes the person, he will be including the person in the sampling in the research study. So the controlling of sampling bias, it is little bit difficult. So first one, it is the convenient sampling, the process of including whoever happens to be available at the time of study. When we are at the time of study, the whomever it is present on that area, the person will be selected as a sample. Okay, the disadvantage, we can't get the appropriate effect on the dependent variables, because according to our convenience, according to the availability of the samples, we will be selecting the samples. Okay, that is the convenient sampling. And the purposive sampling. Purposive sampling, otherwise known as the judgmental sampling, that is the process whereby the researcher selects the sample based on the experience or knowledge of the groups to be sampled. See, for example, if the researcher want to study the diabetic people, okay, whomever he knows as a diabetic people, he will be picking up for the study. That is called the judgmental sampling. Whomever it is willing to come, and according to the purpose, the samples are selected. That is called that purposive sampling. Okay. Sometimes it may cause the inaccuracy in the results. Okay. And the quota sampling. Quota sampling, it is the process whereby the researcher gathers the data from individuals, processing the individuals identified. Okay, it is less accessible. It is disadvantage, it is less accessible because according to the characteristics, the one quota will be selected for the study. And the next one, it is the snowball sampling. Snowball sampling, it is, see, for example, the researcher may not be knowing all the samples, where the samples are present, that they may not be knowing. In that case, see, for example, if you want to do a study on the HIV patients, okay, so we may not be knowing where all the HIV patients present. So if you are getting a sample number 1, okay, sample number 1 will be having the link of sample number 2, and he will be giving the information in this area the one person is available. Okay, and when we are going and meeting the second person, he will be giving the other person's detail. Like this, first person will be giving the second person's information, and the third person information, like that the chain will be continued. That is called that snowball sampling. Okay. So these are the non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling, mainly the convenience sampling, judgmental sampling, quota sampling, and the snowball sampling. Okay. So these are regarding the types of sampling and the classification under the types of sampling. So I hope you all understood regarding the types of sampling and the classification of probability sampling. So these are regarding the sampling techniques. Okay, bye bye. We'll meet you on next class.